I know I haven't filmed in a while, and I'm going to be telling you why in this video. It's a very important video, but for those of you that are new here, my name is Tiffany Rosenbaum, and I am a full-time mommy and a part-time reseller. Part-time reseller, keep that in mind. If I do sound stuffy, I apologize. I am a little congested, and I'm sorry for the angle of the camera. I cannot find my tripod right now, and I didn't want to wait any longer to make this video, as it's already been in the works for about 2 months now. I want to make this video to be very, very informational, and I want those of you who are in reselling to be able to learn from this and don't make the same mistake that I did, because I didn't even know I was making a mistake, but it was a big one. So the story goes back, honestly, around August is when, beginning of August is when I found out anything was going on. So if you watch my videos, you know that I source my items from many different places. I have stuck with in the past a lot of health and beauty items and that type of stuff. I do prefer those supplements, and I get them from, you know, the bin stores around or different wholesale companies, and I do my unboxings and that type of stuff. So I get my items from many, many different places. I got this letter I got an email in the first week of August, and it said that I was being sued for trademark infringement / counterfeit. And it was in my email, and I want to stop and say that I did not have access to this particular email for probably at least 6 months. It's the email that I've had basically my whole life, and no matter what device I tried to access it on, I could not access my emails. I could not send emails out. I could not get my emails to load. So I just had given up basically on this email. It was the email that I do use for my eBay account though, and I had just started using a different email because I had no access to this email. So fast forward into August. My birthday is the first week of August, and I had gotten a new computer. I got an iMac, and lo and behold, I was able to access my email on this one, and I was able to go through and see emails that had come through months and months and months ago that I had no access to. And I really thought nothing of it, because I was always under the impression that anything important would not come via email. So I got this email, and it wasn't an old email, it was a current email. It was the second week of August. No, sorry, the first week of August, and it said I was part of a lawsuit, that I was getting sued, and I needed to, that my funds were being frozen and this type of stuff. And I did think that it was not real at first. I've heard of other people in the Facebook group say that they have gotten fake scam emails, like intimidation emails that were not real, just from like competitors and stuff. So at first I didn't think it was real because I hadn't gotten anything in the mail. Nobody, you know, served me or anything like that. So I did some research. I had asked around and found out that it was indeed real. I was a little concerned why I was only being notified via email, and I guess legally they can do that. I did not know. So that is lesson number one, the big lesson, the big takeaway that I want any of you watching this to know. Don't be under the assumption that if you are going to get sued, they have to serve you with physical, hard paper on a knock on your door, because they don't. They can serve you only via email, and it doesn't matter if you have access to that email or not. They constitute that as you being served. So I had actually found out that they had sent me 2 emails prior, but I didn't see them. I had no access to them. So I found out that it was real, and it did say in the email that I was not to use my funds at all. Nothing was frozen at that time. So I did some research on whether or not I needed to get a lawyer. I spoke to several different law offices, locally and not locally, and it was a hard time trying to find anybody who would even like speak with me, because most of the lawyers I spoke to said that they either didn't cover those kinds of cases, or they didn't know much about it, or they wouldn't cover it because they were not in the jurisdiction that the suit was filed in. So, yeah. And I know all of you are probably wondering what item was it, what brand was it, and I really debated on saying what it was or not, but I do feel that for you guys and for the company itself, it is going to be beneficial if I tell you. And I want to say that I don't have any ill will or ill feelings or hard feelings or anything like that towards this company. It's a company that I'm still going to use. It's a household brand, and that is Gillette and Oral-B. They're owned by the same company, and I didn't know that I didn't know I had a counterfeit item. It ended up being a counterfeit case. So they were replacement brush heads for electric toothbrushes, and it was an item that I had gotten out of liquidation, and I only had one. I only sold one, and I had sold it months ago, and it was new, sealed in package, and to the untrained eye, to me, it looked real, it looked genuine, and I had no idea that a low-priced item like that was even being counterfeit. It's not electronic or anything like that. I do try to be very aware of the items I purchase and make sure that I'm not purchasing items that are known to be possibly counterfeit. I don't buy a lot of electronics lots because I know a lot of electronic items can be counterfeit. So that was probably lesson number 2 that I would say I want you guys to take away out of this, is just always be mindful about your items. Like, you have to be very, very sure that they're not counterfeit. And even if you think, oh, it doesn't matter because I only have one item, or this is a cheap item, it must not be counterfeit, that is not correct. It very well could be counterfeit. So fast forward, I found a lawyer who was very well versed in this topic, and she spoke with me and did a free consultation with me. And she believed that I would not need to get a lawyer. And since I'm only small fish, I only had sold one item. And, I wasn't out, making fake toothbrushes, that I would be able to represent myself. And so I, at that point, ended up reaching out to the attorney handling the case, and I just asked him, what do I need to do? What information do you need for me? And I fully cooperated, and I gave him the information he wanted to know. I did not try and fight it because I had no proof that my item was real. I could not prove that the item was real. So, I didn't want to try and fight it, If I trust their word. They know their brands, they know their companies, and they saw the images of the item, and if they tell me it's not real, and they put the money to go through that. And some of you might be questioning, well, why are they going through such great lengths for just one item? And I want to add that there were many other people that were also part of the lawsuit for selling the items. They were going after big counterfeit people who were counterfeiting it. And the reason why that's such an issue, it seems like it wouldn't be, but if you think about it, the whole point is, if somebody's brushing their teeth and something breaks and stabs them in the mouth or something like that, or it electrocutes them with a toothbrush or something, they're not gonna come after the counterfeiters. They're gonna come after Gillette themselves, and so they have to protect themselves, they have to protect their brands, and they know that their items are quality made. They have no way of telling that the items that are counterfeit are quality at all. So I get it. As a business owner, I totally get it. No hard feelings. But so I ended up just giving the information they wanted, and they were very friendly with me, and I ended up getting dismissed. We came to agreement, and I was dismissed from the case. It did take about 6.5, 7 weeks from the time I initially saw the email to the time I was dismissed and everything. So I had mentioned in the couple minutes earlier that my funds were frozen. It said in the email that my funds couldn't be used, and I was confused about that. I had no idea what it even meant, because I was thinking it was meaning I couldn't use any of my money in any of my accounts. But they did officially freeze my eBay seller funds. I wasn't like suspended. I was still able to list items. I was still able to sell items, but I couldn't get any payouts until the investigation was complete. So the hold that eBay put on it was an MC-999. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you may not be familiar with it. But there was also some listing restrictions. And so, there was another video that I had watched in the middle of all of this to kind of figure things out. And he also had the same thing put on his account. And I'll link the video up here too. And they don't tell you what the selling restrictions are. You just go to list an item and it's like, oh, you can't list this. So you're restricted. And so I did have that put on my account, and I do gotta say it is still on my account, the selling restrictions. So I do have to email eBay and talk about getting that removed, although my funds are released. I do want to say that the time between me being dismissed from the case and eBay releasing my funds was very, very quick. They did not notify me that they were releasing my funds. They just really sold. So that was the hardest part, and I didn't film any of this. I didn't want to say anything during an active investigation and all of that. Also, a week after this happened, my husband had emergency surgery and couldn't work. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, the whole house caught COVID. So I just wanted to update you guys and just tell you to be very, very mindful. If you're selling wholesale items, and I had been thinking before this happened that I was going to step back from selling wholesale items online, and this just solidifies that I'm done with wholesale. I'm not going to be buying any boxes to unbox anymore. I'm going to be sticking with really just like auctions and thrift stores and yard sales for my sourcing items, and I can't say it enough. I know there's no really easy way of telling if an item is counterfeit sometimes, but they don't have to go through eBay. They don't have to send you a cease and desist first. They don't have to Vero you. Gillette is not on the Vero list. They can go straight to a lawsuit, so don't think that it won't happen to you. Because, again, I only sold one item. I'm a super, super small scale, super part-time seller. I only have 300 items on my eBay account. So I'm a small fish compared to the people who sell on eBay all the time. And it happened to me. So just please don't make the same mistake I did. And if you are going to sell wholesale, just know that there is always a chance that the item that you're selling is a counterfeit item, and it could come and bite you in the butt. So with that being said, I wish you guys the best, and I will see you on the next time. Thanks. Bye.